Donald Trump had both the First Lady and First Daughter by his side at the inauguration, just like for his first term.
I respect women, I love women, I cherish women.
But this time, their outfits told a completely different story. Let's compare their looks from the first and second inaugurations and see how their fashion choices made a statement. Because, as we all know, style speaks louder than words. Let's start with Melania.
And I have a First Lady who's been incredible.
The First Lady turned heads with her choice of a navy boater-style hat that matched her navy double-breasted coat, pencil skirt, and ivory blouse. But it wasn't just about the color coordination, it was the vibe. Hats at inaugurations aren't unheard of. Jackie Kennedy, Nancy Reagan, even Mamie Eisenhower rocked them. But Melania's hat was different. It wasn't the classic pillbox hat that keeps the face visible. Nope, hers had a brim so wide it shaded her eyes completely, giving her an air of mystery. It even made it tricky for Donald to sneak in a cheek kiss. Some said it had a Zorro vibe, but one thing's for sure, it made a statement.
I'm gonna get hell when I say this, but her feet are absolutely aching, you know, those heels.
And that statement? Distance. Melania didn't take off her hat or coat, even inside the Capitol Rotunda during Donald's swearing in. It's all part of the image she's carefully crafted since stepping into the political spotlight.
I have my own thoughts. I have my own yes and no. I don't always agree what my husband is saying or doing, and that's okay.
Back in 2017, Melania went for a soft baby blue Ralph Lauren look, channeling Jackie O with a color that said, "I belong here." The light blue gave off a welcoming vibe, showing she was ready to step into the traditional role of First Lady. But by 2025, her choice of deep navy was a big change. Navy is bold and confident, giving off a more detached feel. It says, "I'm here, but on my own terms." This shift in color mirrors Melania's changing public image, one that's more independent and confident, setting herself apart from the past while keeping her signature style. Now let's talk about the inaugural ball. Melania wore a custom Hervé Pierre gown that mixed classic and modern elements. It was mostly white, with a striking black zigzag across the bodice and a coordinating slit in the skirt. Add a sleek choker, and you've got a look that's bold, powerful, and unmistakably confident. Compared to her 2017 ball gown, a softer, vanilla-colored Hervé Pierre dress with a red belt, this gown showed a shift. Back then, her look was elegant and approachable, perfect for a first-timer stepping onto the world stage. This time, she went for bold lines and high contrast, reflecting a more self-assured First Lady who's done this all before.
It will be an exciting 4 years. We have a lot to do.
And then there's Ivanka. In 2017, she made headlines with her all-white Oscar de la Renta pantsuit, a nod to the suffragette movement and gender equality. But this time, she switched things up with a forest green skirt suit, complete with a slim black belt and a matching hat. It was giving Major Jackie O vibes, or at least that's what it aimed for. But not everyone was a fan. People online couldn't help but compare her look to the wives in The Handmaid's Tale. Yikes. Was it an innocent coincidence or a subtle message? You decide.
I would say not to conflate lack of public denouncement with silence.
For the inaugural ball this time around, Ivanka took it to a whole new level, stepping out in a strapless Givenchy couture gown, famously worn by Audrey Hepburn in the 1954 film Sabrina. The white dress with black floral detailing and satin gloves was pure Hollywood glamour. According to Vogue, Ivanka was honored to wear the dress, calling Audrey Hepburn a personal inspiration. The choice felt deliberate, not just a tribute to an icon, but a way of aligning herself with elegance, grace, and cultural significance. Back in 2017, Ivanka wore a champagne-colored Carolina Herrera gown covered in sparkling crystals. It was straight out of a fairy tale, perfect for her first big moment on the world stage. Fast forward to 2025, and her Givenchy gown shows just how much her style, and maybe her priorities, have evolved. This time, her look carried weight, history, and intent, a reflection of her growth and awareness of the narratives her style can create. Ivanka's black and white gown also tied in nicely with Melania's zigzag dress, creating a subtle visual link between the two.
I was surprised.
Was it a show of solidarity or a subtle nod to Ivanka's continued presence as a major player in the Trump world? It's hard to say for sure, but let's not forget their past rivalry. Things were frosty when Trump was in office. Ivanka was trying to play First Lady, while Melania handled Barron's school stuff, leading to some firm boundaries from Melania. Think of it as the White House edition of Game of Thrones, but no dragons, just icy stares.
There's one First Lady, and Melania will be an unbelievable First Lady.
However, with Ivanka stepping back from politics now, their relationship might have warmed up. After years of standing by his side through business ventures, campaigns, and a turbulent presidency, she's stepping away from the political spotlight for good. In January 2021, for the first time since she was 23, Ivanka packed her bags, left Washington, and walked away from her role in her father's orbit. And she hasn't looked back. In a rare public statement in 2022, she made her feelings clear. I love my father very much. This time around, I am choosing to prioritize my young children and the private life we are creating as a family. I do not plan to be involved in politics. Since then, Ivanka, her husband Jared Kushner, and their 3 kids have been living in Miami, Florida, trying to stay out of the public eye. But let's be real, when you're part of the Trump family, private life only goes so far. Now, this is a big shift for someone who was once one of Donald Trump's closest advisors. During her time in the White House, she took on issues like paid family leave and the child tax credit, which she helped turn into Republican talking points. But while her portfolio was tailored to less controversial causes, she still faced intense backlash. Some blamed her for decisions she had no real control over, and others criticized her for staying silent on hot-button issues. And then there was the personal cost. Ivanka lost friends in her New York social circle and faced scrutiny over her clothing brand, which she eventually shut down because of ethical questions about mixing business and politics. Fast forward to now, and she's charting a totally new course. These days, Ivanka's priorities are her kids, her husband, and her own peace of mind. She told Lex Fridman in a podcast this year, "Politics it's a pretty dark world. There's a lot of darkness, a lot of negativity, and it's just really at odds with what feels good for me as a human being. So for me and my family, it feels right to not participate." But here's the twist. Just because Ivanka's out of the spotlight doesn't mean she's out of the game. Sources say she still talks to her dad regularly and offers advice, just behind the scenes now. Don't expect public speeches or West Wing meetings this time around. And Jared Kushner? He's also taking a step back from formal politics, but he's still a key player when it comes to Middle East diplomacy. Plus, he's got business interests in the region, so don't think he's sitting idle. Fun fact, Jared's dad, Charles Kushner, has even been tapped as the US ambassador to France. Talk about keeping it in the family. But back to Ivanka. Losing her mother, Ivana Trump, in 2022 was a deeply emotional moment for her. She's also been caring for her grandmother, who lives with her in Miami. Add in her husband's health struggles. Jared underwent 2 surgeries for thyroid cancer, and you can see why she's embracing this new chapter. Friends describe her as more grounded and at peace, fully focused on her family. She's thrown herself into new hobbies: surfing, jiu-jitsu, horseback riding, and even motocross biking. It's a far cry from campaign rallies and policy meetings, but it seems to be exactly what she needs. So, with all these style changes and new vibes, whose fashion are you more drawn to? The First Ladies or the First Daughters? Let me know your thoughts.